everybody, welcome back to another PitBoss Pro Series combo grilling video. That's becoming more and more of a mouthful every time I say it. If you happen to watch last week's video where we did what I called Grandma's Fire Shrimp, I am loving this LaoGanMa seasoning, and if you haven't tried it, you absolutely must. I'll put a link to it down in the video down below. It's not my link, it's an Amazon link, but this is the seasoning. It's got this picture of a grandma, I guess, on it. It's a spicy chili crisp, and in it is soybean oil, chilies, onions, fermented soybean, pepper powder, salt, and a little bit of sugar. It's amazing. It's got some heat. It's got a little bit of sweetness. It makes things spicy, but not unbearable. Not like the let's see how hot we can get this stuff in your mouth. But I'm going to do something that I really enjoy doing on the grill, and I'm not going to do the smoker this time. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll divide this up. I think I'm going to cook half of it on the smoker, half of it on the grill, just to try the difference between the two. So I am a big fan of chicken thighs. They have great flavor. They cook well. They tend to be fairly evenly sized. It's one of my favorite poultry cuts, if you will. But when we buy them, we try to be fairly selective in what we get. We like to use cage-free, air-chilled chicken thighs. And when we look for chicken, that's what we usually find. If you go to your local grocery store and you find this, the vast majority of the things won't be that. If it doesn't say, by the way, it's not. So just to give you a little bit of background on this, it's interesting. When a processing plant processes chicken, they have to chill it immediately. So there's two ways they do that. They can either do that with very, very cold air, that's air chilled, or they do it with cold water. And the problem is a lot of these places do it with cold water. It's easier, it's faster, you just throw it all into a vat. The challenge with that is your chicken sits in the water and it begins to soak in some of that moisture. It gets a little bit maybe more plump than it might otherwise be, but that also displaces a lot of the flavor that comes out of the chicken. When it's air chilled, what you end up with is the flavor of the chicken. I have found it makes a huge difference. You'll pay a little bit more, you might pay 20% more. It's not terribly expensive. You're not paying double the price. So take a look out for that when you are looking for your chicken. So I bought this one. It looks like six cutlets, if you will, or six chicken thighs. I like the boneless and skinless ones just because there's not as much fat on them, but they still have a great flavor. Simple way of marinate. I'm going to put these into a Ziploc bag. I'm going to spoon in some of this LaoGanMa spicy chili crisp right on top of it. I'm going to massage them all in the bag, push the air out of it, seal it up, put it in the fridge, and let it sit overnight. I think overnight. I would say that if you're doing this, you want to at least let it marinate for 4 hours, but overnight it's certainly going to have a little bit more flavor. And I said maybe overnight because it just sort of depends on what we do for dinner tonight. So when I'm preparing these, I always take each chicken thigh and I open them up because that's the way we're going to put them on the grill, is whole like that. We don't want them balled up the way they have them packed. That's going to cook a lot more evenly if we do it that way. So I like to open each one up when I put them down into the Ziploc bag. You'll notice what I'm doing is kind of putting a layer down in here, and that's because the way I'm going to put the seasoning on will get nice coating on all of them. So I'll hold this up in a second so you can see how they're going in here. So I have 3 more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here a moment, and I'm going to put my first layer of chili crisp seasoning on here. This stuff is phenomenal. I cannot get over how good it is. I like to shake it up. And it is interesting. It definitely has a crispy sound to it. I'm just going to open this, and I'm going to take a little, I use one of the little baby spoons. Take a little baby spoon, and I'm just going to spoon some in here. I'm not trying to get it coated really well, just kind of tossed in here, because when I massage them all together, I'll really get the coating on them much better. Okay. And now we're just going to put these on top of that seasoning as well. Now, here's my other trick when I do this. I'm going to flip this whole thing over. I'm going to get the seasoning on this side as well before I start massaging it in. You know, if you're like me, you will buy a small bottle of this LaoGanMa just because you don't know if you like it. As soon as I bought my first one, I bought the second one after the first use, and I got the same size. Now that I've been using it a little bit, I wish I would have bought the bigger size. It stays just fine in the fridge. And when using it as a marinade, we use quite a bit of it. So, all right, let's get this sealed up. Push some of the air out of here. All right, now you're just going to go ahead and massage this all in real good until you get them coated really well. You can kind of see the color I've got going on here. You just want to massage it in until it's on all sides. We'll set that in the fridge and we'll let it marinate, and we'll put it out in the grill tomorrow morning or tonight, depends. Got a nice sear on these. Now we'll go ahead and flip them over in about another 3 minutes. Use our quick probe thermometer and we'll just take a quick look here. Yeah, we're already up over 165, so we definitely want to get these off of here. Kind of see how they look though. They certainly look good. As you can see, we just cooked it on the grill, turned it over every couple of minutes, and did it until the internal temperature was 165. Again, it's important with any kind of grilling and cooking. Check it by temperature, not by time. 165 degrees, 162 is perfect. Take the chicken off, let it set on a plate or so, or a platter for about 5 minutes. It continues to cook, gets up to about 168. It's still juicy, cooked all the way through, and absolutely delicious. It really is phenomenal. I hope you try this recipe. Again, it's called LaoGanMa. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'll put a link down in the description below. You can get it on Amazon. You can probably get it in the Asian section of your local grocery store if you have a good sort of international selection there. Absolutely a great marinade, and we'll be using it on a lot of different cuts. Specifically poultry and seafood, I think, is where it's going to absorb the most flavor, but who knows, I might try it on pork chops or something else at some point down the road. Safe grilling, y'all.